Financial news. This is something we're going to do every day. Again, it's something that was inspired by Gary Vee and Nipsey Hussle conversation from well over a year ago. So that's what we do every day. One video about what I see going on in the financial markets, both the stock market, real estate, general business industry, things of that nature. So, as the title of this particular post indicates, we're going to talk about what was identified as the #1 real estate market in America. I'm going to do that at the end of the video. But before I do, why don't you go ahead and leave your comments below what you think the #1 market is. Again, this will be for appreciation and rent growth to give you some context. Um, I would say it's fair to guess that it would be in a sunshine state. So let me know what you think. If you're watching this, send a guess. We'll see what happens. First and foremost, the things going on. We closed out our 5th week of gains in the stock market. I believe it S&P and Nasdaq both hit records as we closed out Friday. One more trading day. Hi Anya, happy holidays. Hola, ¿cómo está? So one more thing to think about as we head in. I think there's one more, maybe a day and a half trading left in the year. I expect what I called a week or two ago, kind of the Santa Claus rally to continue. It should be light trading. However, the uptick will be real. However, I think we need to be careful in January. Um, Thank you. Happy New Year to you as well, and your family. Um, I think we need to be careful in January. This run has been, basically everything went right. And if you watch this channel, we were talking about possibility of things going right in October, right? So 3 months before, and one by one, they all they all fell in our direction. But as we head into January, realize that they can go back. Things could start going against us. For example, we all expect this phase one trade deal or the skinny trade deal to be signed in January. You know, do you feel really confident that that's going to happen? Right? You know, I am somewhat confident, but man, those two individuals at the top, who knows what's going to happen? So, right, what would happen if that got undone? Right? That would send shockwaves through the market. So don't be don't take your eye off the ball. I think there's going to be a fair amount of selling in early January because a lot of people make decisions at the end of the year for tax reasons. So they're going to keep their fingers crossed and trade on Wednesday or Thursday, right, to take money off the table so they have another year before capital gains tax. So just be careful. And just be careful. Next thing is, a lot of end of year articles are being written now. One that I thought was kind of self-serving but still interesting to read is what did investors think about 2019? What is their regret? And let's remember where we came from, right? Essentially, 2019 has been kind of one of these years. So, what do you think investors regret? Well, they wish they would have invested more. This is like investing via the rear view mirror in your car. Um, 35% of people wish they invested more, 16% wish they invested more aggressively. That's kind of looking at the scoreboard after it's over and saying, I wish I did, I wish I did. What are you learning from all of this, right? That's what people should be taking away from this. Why didn't you? What could I learn from this? And there's not enough self inspection going on and kind of trying to learn. That's really why I look at business information every morning and have for well over a decade now, is because I'm trying to see the little crumbs that lead to interesting decisions. And we've been doing a pretty good job the last 60 or 90 days, kind of calling things that ultimately happened. And again, if the one I'm calling now is be careful of January, right? There's just been too much of this melt up in stock prices. And I'm nervous for January. Yeah, I'm nervous really between now and Valentine's Day, right? Sort of February 14th. I'm nervous. I think there's going to be a sell-off. It'll probably exceed 10%. But we'll see, right? That's why you play the game, if you will. The other thing that's interesting is I read an article about how exercise. If you watch this channel, you realize that one of my goals is to be in better shape, better health, and hence the exercise article caught my attention. And really, how it changed from P90X. Anybody try P90X out there a decade ago? I did. I think I had P90X version 1 and version 2. It was kind of an interesting workout, right? You had 3 or 4 people on screen, one person doing it easy, one person doing it kind of ridiculously hard, and it was fun to do, right? You kind of felt like you knew the people, and it went well. But after you watched it the 100th time, the jokes were no longer funny, and it got kind of repetitive. Up to Peloton, right, who went public, and kind of that same idea, except now it's live and right using the internet, and you have an instructor, and it's recording all this big data information, and it's just to see how workouts have changed and how it's evolved. Still, the key is to get your butt out there and do something. I think interacting with others is key, at least for me. I'm not very good at kind of just doing my own thing. I think it's the interaction that's pretty fun. And I think that is going to do more and more. Let's see what this says. Key to lifestyle. I do not play the stock market game, only real estate. Yeah. Yeah, I like, I only do real estate as well. Although I follow the market because, again, who am I competing against? Usually it's owner occupants, and most owner occupants get their down payment from the market. Hence, I follow that stuff. So, again, back to the exercise, again, P90X to Peloton, it's all about the interaction and change. And I think we're going to see this in lots of other industries, hence the conversation. So, it's going to be interesting to watch what the next decade is going to be about. I can't believe another decade is coming. It's crazy. Another investor, talking head on TV. I don't remember hearing this name before. Jack Ablin, Ablin. He kind of echoes what I just talked about with stocks. The stocks are moving more into the danger zone. He's actually calling for a 15% drop in early 2020. He doesn't put a date on it. I hate when they do that. What's early, right? Is early June? Well, I don't know. But he's calling for a potential 15% drop without a date, really. I'm saying 10% by Valentine's Day. So we'll see what happens. And I don't think a lot is going to change. It's just the trend of perfect positive information has to go against us eventually. And, we'll see what happens. So next up, kind of last topic of the day, I saw this Freedom ETF caught my attention. I had to figure out what that is. But basically, it's a fund that is investing in countries that are basically on the side of freedom, right? Doesn't have human rights or any other kind of negativity with it. To give you a feel, Taiwan is the #1 investing country with South Korea right behind. So I thought that was interesting, right? Looking for human rights and liberties and investing in countries that swing that way, which I was like, okay, so who's not included? And China, Russia, and Saudi Arabia are not included. They do not make the cut for human rights or liberties. I'm like, I get it, right? If you are investing in countries where you value human rights and liberties, you can't invest in China, Russia, or Saudi Arabia. Um, so I think the Freedom ETF is interesting. I think putting your heart ahead of your head sometimes gets you in trouble, but I think there's going to be a lot more kind of investing with your heart as we evolve in the next decade. And what's better than human rights and liberty? So I applaud the team for putting that together. So okay, back to the question we started this daily financial news video on. What do you think the #1 market in 2019 were? Home prices were up 6%. The national average was about 2.8. Let's call it 3. And rent growth was up 7%, where the national average was about 2.5. It happens to also be the fastest growing county for population this year. So the #1 market in 2019, at least by this CNBC article, was Phoenix, Arizona. Yep, Phoenix, Arizona. I would tell you, if you're watching this, to go and look at the boom bust cycles, because Phoenix got crushed in the down cycle, right? Look at their numbers in 2008, 9. They were way down, just like Vegas, so that was interesting. Um, I don't know where Wacom, Melkin counties is. Rent controls coming to Phoenix. Oh yeah, could be. We will see. But yeah, Phoenix has been pretty hot. Oh, North Carolina. I didn't know that. Okay. Um, so again, Phoenix was the number one market. It passed Las Vegas. Vegas was the early lead in the beginning of 2019, but Phoenix took it over. Both of those are in the sunshine states. They have close proximity to California, and lots of people are leaving California. So it kind of makes sense. So that's what I have for you. Enjoy your weekend. And again, we will talk to you tomorrow morning. All right, everybody, take care. Bye.